All right, so today we're here with IFBB Physique Pro, Chad Abner from Lexington, Kentucky. Chad, thanks for taking some time with us today.
Oh, glad to be here. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah. So tell us, what has, just in a nutshell so far, what has ATP Extreme done for your training?
It's really taking it to the next level. I've noticed amazing endurance gains on top of strength gains. But for instance, being able to push those challenge sets for those extra reps and getting more and more and more every time, and on top of that, the pump is just outrageous.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you train a lot to failure, and might not, like you said, might not necessarily be the heaviest weight, but when you train to failure like that, are you seeing significantly more reps?
I'm really seeing significant more reps. For instance, something I would do would be go to a leg press, finish off a leg day with a leg press, and put 3 or 4 plates on there and say, okay, we're going to get 100 reps. So you're going to press as many as you can get until you can't, lock it out, take a few seconds, keep going. Typical, I would get 40, maybe 45. On the third day of ATP, I got all 100, which
Wow.
was off the charts.
That is huge gain.
Absolutely unbelievable, yeah.
Wow. So it kicked in right away for you. As soon as you started on the product, you noticed the difference?
It kicked in so fast. I really was, that was kind of the eye-opening moment where it was like, wait a minute, something is really, really going on here. It's unbelievable.
And
Yeah.
when you talk about muscle pump, as someone who's a physique pro, I know you've taken a lot of different products. How does the muscle pump from ATP Extreme compare to the muscle pump from other products you've taken?
It's completely different. Some products will give you that quick pump that you're going to get a little bit of pump for a little while, but then it just completely goes away. And it's stimulant based, so it's like it feels great for the first couple of days, but then your adrenals start to get taxed. With ATP, it's not like that at all. It's like every day the pump increases and increases and increases. And it's like one of those things where we don't really realize when we're dieting and pushing really hard that we actually deplete ATP as well. And that's one of the things that really has a huge increase in pump, as well as being full in the muscles. So it's completely different than any other product. And I'm completely blown away how much the pump continually increases from workout to workout.
That's
Like,
awesome.
absolutely. Once you get those stores built up and they're replenishing that rapidly, it's really something else.
That's crazy, man. So when it comes to your pump, are you noticing like more vascularity too? Because when I talk to a lot of people in the bodybuilding industry, they definitely say like within a couple weeks, veins are just popping everywhere.
I'm typically reasonably vascular, but it was fast. It wasn't even a couple weeks.
Okay.
It was much faster than that. 3 or 4 days in, the vascularity was greatly improved. Even right now,
I can see it.
it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big factor for anyone who's training for physique or bodybuilding, right? Because the more vascular you are, the more lean you look.
Absolutely, you look leaner than you are, and it shows that you're not holding a lot of water retention as well, which is
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about strength now, because one of the things that we've talked about with ATP Extreme is we've had a clinical study that showed that it more than doubled the strength increases among athletes in a double-blind study over a 12-week period. Have you noticed significant strength gains?
I've noticed really, really strong strength gains. Yeah, and it's really been amazing. So, for instance, I would go to hammer strength press, put 3 plates on. Typically, I could press 3, 4 plates max. 3 plates for 12 reps, maybe. I can easily press 3 plates for 25 reps. Press 4 for 15, 20, which was I could only do for 4 or 5 before.
Wow.
We're looking at 3 times.
Yeah, that's really, really significant. That's crazy, huh?
Absolutely significant. Absolutely.
I mean, when you first started on it, seeing the ingredient list and knowing that there was probably nothing on there that was common to the other supplements that you've taken in the past, did you have any skepticism as far as like, how is this thing going to work?
Absolutely. I had a pretty good understanding of how ATP works, but I'm like, okay, how much can this possibly help? And you're looking at it and you're going, there's really nothing else in here. It's pretty straightforward. So yeah, there's a little bit of skepticism, but the third day that was completely gone. That was completely over with.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
it was in the results, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been off the charts. It really has.
So what is your stance on pre-workouts that are high in stimulants? I mean, obviously, there's a lot of downsides to stimulants. A lot of people love the stimulants, but what's your philosophy on it?
I'm not a big fan of stimulants. Obviously you're going to get that quick feeling of energy, but the problem is that goes away really fast. And if you're really lean and you're dieting really hard, you can also become hypoglycemic really quick with that.
Gotcha.
But not only that, I think the biggest issue with most people who do a lot of stimulants is just the adrenal fatigue.
Yeah.
So once you start to fatigue the adrenals, it's really really hard to get lean. It's really hard to get strong. Everything else kind of starts to go downhill, and then you're looking at pituitary problems, and there's just the list goes on and on if you're continually pushing those harsh stimulants. So
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I think that's something that's not talked about enough. You know?
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. We don't think about it all that much, but I've had lots of athletes that come to me that have been using lots of strong pre-workouts or ephedrine stacks or those kinds of things, and have to really detox them and do a lot of work to get their adrenals back up. So anytime you can use something like this that has no stimulant in it and get that kind of benefit, I think that's far better than using any kind of stimulant even for a short period of time.
Gotcha. So what if as far as like your other supplements that you take, have you found that ATP Extreme works well with any specific supplements that you take?
I do. It works really, really good with the carb.
Yep.
It tends to increase the pump. It tends to increase how well it's absorbed. But my favorite thing is to include it with a highly branched cyclic dextrin. And those things that's a pretty advanced carbohydrate, but it's low osmolality and it's high molecular weight. So as soon as it hits your stomach, it's rapidly shuttled into your cells.
Uh-huh.
So when you combine the ATP with this branched cyclic dextrin, it's really some kind of magic.
I'm glad you said that because we actually did a study with some CrossFit athletes, and this was before I knew that the carb part was such a big role in how effective ATP Extreme was, and we saw a significant difference with CrossFit athletes as well, like the ones that were eating carbs and the ones that weren't eating carbs. The ones that weren't eating carbs had a significantly lower improvement to performance than the ones that were eating the carbs.
I can certainly believe that. I think the delivery system, has a huge impact on that. So
Yeah.
so that's
Okay, so speaking of carbs, let's talk about dieting and how ATP Extreme affects you going through the dieting season. I know you said you're 1 week out from a show now, right? So
1 week out from show, from the Tampa Pro. Absolutely. I've been competing, the biggest part of the year, so I've been dieting pretty hard. I never go extremely keto, so extremely low carb.
okay.
But I will go no carbs other than like my peri-workout nutrition. It's been great. Like I've honestly I train 7 days a week,
Wow.
and I may train anywhere between 10 and 13 workouts a week, which
Holy cool. God, that's crazy.
kind of crazy. Yeah, and absolutely. But ATP has really allowed me to do that and to push hard through all those workouts, and even through dieting hard and going lower carb. I've really not had any lack of energy or any lack of being able to push through those extra sets.
I mean, is that common? Like everybody I talk to says when they're getting 2 weeks from a show, they have no energy, they're super weak, they can barely get through cardio.
Absolutely, yeah, that's not common at all. And up until the point that I found ATP, that was how I was. You get a couple weeks from a show and you're a zombie trying to push through those last couple of weeks just to do your best. But I haven't felt that way at all this year, which is
That's got to be good for your confidence going into a show.
Oh, absolutely. So you go in feeling strong, feeling really good about how you're performing, rather than going up there going, I just got to get through this today.
Right. That's crazy,
Sure.
man. So when is your next show? You said what, in a week?
Yeah, it's a week. It's actually a week from today, the Tampa Pro. Yeah, 7 days out.
Excited?
Very excited. Yeah, feeling really good. Going in about 210 pounds, so about where I want to be. Feeling really big, really lean, really full.
Nice.
Not overly depleted, which is great.
Have you used ATP Extreme backstage, like in a contest, right? So when you're pumping up backstage and before you go on stage, you use it?
I do, yeah. I always make sure I have it with me, and I definitely use it before. It definitely increases the vascularity, and it's that feeling of, I'm ready to do this.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Okay, so I guess to wrap this all up, if someone came to you and said, hey, I've been hearing about ATP Extreme, what would you tell them about ATP Extreme to kind of get them to want to try the product?
I would tell them that the difference it's made with me is something I can't even really explain in words. You have to feel it. But I've turned several people onto it, and they've experienced exactly the same results I have, which goes to show how awesome it is. But as we talked about, through dieting, through training 10 to 13 workouts a week, it's been completely a whole different level of training for me. So I don't think there's a way you could possibly go wrong with ATP as compared to any other product on the market. So definitely, give it a shot, see how it works for you. But I promise you're going to be blown away.
Do you feel that it affects every aspect of your performance?
It really does. You're not only getting better endurance, you're getting better strength, you're getting better pump, better vascularity, but also, what is huge for an athlete is also that confidence factor that you're talking about. So,
Yeah.
You're strong, you're feeling great, and it just makes you feel confident and ready, as opposed to just that grind of, okay, I've got to get through this. But
Yeah.
that factor right there alone is pretty valuable.
Yeah, for you guys, I mean, if every time you look in the mirror, you're liking what you're seeing, that's huge.
It's very huge, absolutely. So, on stage, that confidence factor is a good part of your score. So
Cool, man.
that's
Hey,
great.
Chad, thank you so much for, sharing your experience with us. We appreciate it. And, good luck next week. We look forward to seeing how you look on stage, man.
Hey, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Craig.
All right, take care.